Hello, guys. Welcome to the Chosen Generation Television. My name is Sheila, and we are doing an episode where we will be talking about leadership during a crisis. Now, more than ever, we are experiencing difficulties in our leadership positions, and would you like to be mentored? This is the place for you. Don't go anywhere. So today, I have very interesting guests with us today. It's Joseph and Mary, and they will be introducing themselves in a short while. But Joseph is in the communication and marketing field, while Mary is in the teaching field. So you guys, I want us to just know them and know how they do their leadership, because they have also held quite some high leadership positions. So how are you guys? How are you doing?
Hi Sheila, you well?
I'm good.
It's wonderful to be here, and it's an honor to be in a platform, and even for the invitation. As you've mentioned, to my viewers, my name is Joseph. My profession, it's in the field of communication and marketing, and so it's quite an honor to be here. I've been in that field for several years, and I thank God that He has enabled me and also to lead in at several levels. And so I'm looking forward to a very engaging, constructive discussion that will be able to really impact and change the lives of the so many young people that we have in this nation. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you. Mary, teacher. I just joined the field, and I'm also happy to be part of this. Thank you to you.
So you guys, Mary, maybe she has said she has just joined the field, but she knows a lot about leadership, and that's why she's here. That's why she's a guest here. Okay. So you guys, I want to ask you, in your own words, can you please describe who is a leader? Joseph, can you please describe to us leader ni nani?
Asante sana Sheila. Leader ni nani? I think for me, I believe, actually not even thinking, because if I start thinking, I'll have so many definitions of who a leader is. But I believe a leader is somebody who has been given a chance to guide people, be it an organization. But a leader cannot walk alone. So a leader is somebody who has been given a responsibility to guide other people towards a planned objective, or to a successful end that will be impactful in their lives. That is what I see, and that is what I believe to be a leader for me. Yeah.
That's a very nice response, Mary. If I could hear yours.
Okay, thank you. For me, I can say, naweza sema leader ni just a person mwenye take initiative to show people the directive, and also somebody mwenye even in a family we have leaders, so ni mtu mwenye other people are looking up to for directives and guidance. Yeah.
Okay. So, what are the qualities of this leader? What would you say are the qualities? Kama we ni leader, you guys are leaders. So, sisemi what are your qualities, but what would you like to see kwa leader? What would you like to see? Leader kwe, mwenye akona nguvu, mwenye ana leader watu, anawaambia wacha, sijui nini. What would you like to see in a leader? Qualities.
Me think kitu yenye naweza taka kuona kwa a leader is mse mwenye ni understanding, because once a leader is not understanding to watu wenye ana lead, hapo kuna leadership iko hapo, because a leader ni mse unafaa kwa you can reach out to them, you can talk to them, and they also can know how to approach you, because once a leader approaches you in the wrong maybe in the wrong direction, I can say that hata venye utaperform the task, it's very different if angekuwa more understanding to your personality and also maybe your character. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll direct this question to you, Joseph. So tumeona, so of course this is leadership during a crisis. That's the title. So in your own words, have you ever experienced any crisis when you are being a leader? Have you ever experienced any crisis? And how was it?
Yeah, I have. Sometimes I've experienced a crisis at a personal level, because then again, a crisis can also be at a personal level. the challenges you face and all that. And then again, you find that they affect your leadership role. But more so, I've also experienced crisis at corporate level in terms of where I work and people I interact with. So I may not peg it to a particular scenario where I experienced the crisis, but then again, that has happened in my life, and that has been so life-changing, because it's an opportunity for me to be able to navigate around crisis. It's an opportunity for me to understand that these things do happen, and these the sort of preparations and outcomes that I should have in mind. So that has happened, and I think it's happening to so many people, not only in terms of those people who are working, not only to the entire country at some point, but also even to individual people and persons. You find that at some point they experience different levels of crisis in their lives. Yeah.
And so, what were the key challenges when you were a leader, or when you were being governed by somebody who was a leader? What were the key challenges you faced during those times of crisis?
Thank you, Sheila. One of the biggest challenge, it's usually the surprise with no preparations. That sometimes people are caught by crisis when they've not prepared for it. There's no aspect of risk management that has been put in place before, so that again, when this particular crisis comes and you face it, then again you are able to respond in a concrete way where you are able to handle it. That is one of the challenge. It's something that may happen and you didn't plan for it. The other aspect is lack of supportive team, or more so being in a circle that is not that much supportive. Then again, now that calls for you as a leader. What is your role? Are you able to onboard them? Are you able to encourage the aspect of teamwork? That is something that is so critical, because then again, in such moments, then again, it's so important for you to have a team of people around you. And let me even move a little bit closer to when you're dealing with an individual crisis. Then again, who are you surrounding yourself with? Who are you consulting? Who are you opening up to? Are they people whom you can have a sit down, they can listen to you, and then again, you are able to harvest different ideas, and they're able to help you build up a solution that can be able to help you come out of that particular crisis. So the other challenge, it's as I'll link up with what Mary mentioned, it's the aspect of, as a leader, being able to understand, being empathetic with the people you're working with, or the people that you're leading. Because sometimes a crisis, it's very diverse, that it may not be affecting you alone, but also may be affecting your team. A good example, it's your workplace. As a young person, when you are in a crisis and you are leading that particular team, then are you empathetic? Are you able to onboard the feelings of other people, the challenges of other people, and be able to understand, so that then again, at the end of the day, you're able to help them walk through the crisis? Because there's a big difference between being a leader and a boss. That most bosses want to bulldoze people.
Wow.
And it's okay, at some point you can do that. It calls for you to make very strategic decisions, but then again, ensure at every point you're empathetic, you are also concerned about the feeling of your own team. Yeah.
Wow. There's a difference between a leader and a boss. Wow, that's what I've gotten. Wow. So, the same question to Mary. So, what have you ever been in a situation where you faced a crisis in terms of leadership?
Yeah, I once was in a kind of crisis. Ilikuwa some years back. I think hata si mingi. Ni 1 year ago. So I was taking a team for camp. A team of leaders. And so they had given me the transport. And so niko nayo kwa phone. Mimi najua tunaenda tupande gari, and then we go. So kwenda kulipa gari, they said no M-Pesa, you have to withdraw kwa stage. So nikasema hii ni faster. Kwenda ku withdraw, I don't know what happened, like my M-Pesa is just reading 0. I'm like, what? Yeah. And watu wamekaa kwa gari, ni mimi wanangoja tuende. So I just called some few people, nikaweza kupata the fare ya kwenda. But now I've taken them to camp. It was in Embu. I don't know how they're going to come back. What? So the entire journey, nile wezi waambia cheki magays nimepoteza fare yenu.
Yeah.
So you just seated there, you're laughing, but ndani nilikuwa sikia like nikicheka sana nasikia machozi iko hapa, but still I had to stay strong for them. I was taking them for the camp ndio pia wa benefit, they get some training, they get to enjoy themselves. So nikiwa sad awata enjoy, because the leader, you influence people pia in their emotions. Ukiwa sad, they be sad. So how I handled it, day one ya camp, it was a 3-day camp. Day one we stayed, I didn't talk to anyone. Nilikuwa namka mapema naenda kukaa kwa grau kwanza ni
kuna chill,
ni chill kwanza.
meditate, where the money is going to come from.
Where is the money going to come from, because we were to use more than 5k kurudi, and I
And
didn't.
what had cost, if I may cut you, what had cost the balance to be 0 shillings?
Ilikuwa error with M-Pesa, like M-Pesa services. So I called them later, they told me I'll have to wait like 3 days ndio waangalie shida ilikuwa gani.
So uko pale
Yeah.
during the camp there's
Yeah.
no fun, you're just una meditate
Tuna meditate,
every day,
tunajiuliza
telling them unajua mnabaki huku Embu, I know you'll sleep here in Embu because
Yeah.
there's nothing to go back. Oh
Yeah.
wow. And
Yeah.
it's a team of leaders.
Yeah, a team of leaders that have trusted me with their money, like Merigo, they want to facilitate our transport. But towards the last day, I talked to the manager of the camp. So ilikuwa so hard. Inili unaenda kumwambia nilipoteza fare, and then you're like, sasa nitamwambia nilipoteza aje? I even didn't know how it venye imepotea. I didn't withdraw it, I didn't pay anything. The M-Pesa messages are not clear. So I talked to him, and that's how the situation was settled. Yeah, but the main challenge was now staying strong for the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the main challenge that I faced, and also overthinking, where am I going to get the money? Yeah.
So as a leader you had to stay strong. That was crisis in it all. In this economy you don't mess with people's money.
Yeah.
So I can understand where you are coming from, and you are like, okay, where is the money coming from? Yeah. So, and how, okay, so if I may pose this question to you, how has empathy played a role in leadership during a time of crisis?
Well, empathy, I would say, ni ile unawaelewa and hauwaurumi. So like you get to understand how somebody is feeling, but you don't, I'll say, sympathize with them. You listen to them and you try to reason out, like una try to find a solution to whatever the situation that has happened. Yeah, so I think empathy helps you to understand the situation and come up with a sensible solution. Yes.
In your field, Joseph, in your field, so in your field, we find that during empathy, you might empathize with people who maybe you have said you are in the corporate world, so people may maybe steal your money, and I would like you to advise people, maybe the youths who are watching this or whoever watching this, to tell us how will empathy be a problem or maybe a situation. How will empathy be either a problem or a solution?
Number one, I believe that empathy, it's something that every leader should have. It's not something that you need to say, look, it's option number 2. My thinking and my belief, because as Mary has mentioned, as much as you are empathetic, doesn't mean that you need to be so sympathetic, even in situations where it doesn't make sense, such that you have to compromise the values. And I want to go back to what she has just mentioned. Niseme tu kitu kwa hiyo situation yenye alikuwa that particular time, and say at the end you've heard her mention that she communicated. For you to be able even to empathize with people, then again you need to communicate with them. You need to understand them. You try to put yourself in their shoes and understand how would they be feeling. And most times, something that we leaders forget, where we bring on board the aspect of being empathetic, is that sometimes the way you perform, the way you lead people, does not only affect the person that you're leading, but it is a stream of effect that is streamed down and passed to even to their own families. So you're not only holding their own lives, but even the lives of their families. But then again, ask yourself, it's okay, I'm a leader, because at the end of the day, as much as you're empathetic with them, if things go wrong, they'll still blame you. You'll still have a blame to pay. At the end of the day, they expect that you need to have a strong leadership expressed so that they're able to come out victorious as much as you empathize with them. And that is where now the aspect of making decisive decisions, where you are able to manage the risk, look at your team and see, is everybody really bringing an impact? And then again, if they're not able to bring the impact, how am I, other than firing them, other than saying, look, I'm done with you? Then again, how are you able to help them improve their lives, improve their capacity? How are you able to maximize on the capacity of your team to be able to ensure that at the end of the day, yes, you empathized with them, but you're able to help them come out stronger. And when they come out stronger, you also become stronger, you as a leader. Yes. Your institution becomes stronger. Your family becomes stronger. And even your own life. There's the aspect of strength that is observed in terms of the success and the growth that people expect to see. That's the role of empathy. But empathy should not be there to dilute the values, the principles, the strategies, the philosophies that you as a person or a corporate or an organization have already put in place. Yeah.
I've heard you mention there's a difference between empathy and sympathy. That's interesting to me and maybe to the viewers. So would you explain empathy and sympathy? How does it relate to, and how is it different from each other, especially in leadership?
Being empathetic as a leader, it's placing yourself in the shoes of those that you lead, and asking yourself, if I were in their shoes, what expectations or at what level of understanding would I expect to receive from the person who is leading me? But that's so different from being sympathetic, because being empathetic, it means that you are doing something about it. Being sympathetic ni kukaa tu uko ukisema, wale wameumia, sijui, ye pole kwao. But then again, you do nothing about it. That's what I feel like. You're doing nothing about it, but unafanya ile huruma tu inaonekana, but you're doing nothing about it. You're just complaining behind the scene, behind the tent, as we say as Kenyans. But hakuna kitu yenye unafanya. That's the big difference. And that is not what you need as the person being led. You don't want your leader to just be sympathetic to you. No, you want them to be empathetic. So then again, they are able to onboard you in terms of the decisions they make. They're able to onboard you in terms of the strategies they employ. You are able to employ your little minimal strength, or to the maximum of your strength. You are able together as a team to maximize on it and be able to be productive. So then again, it's not just a game of complaining. No, it's a game of working together, moving forward as a team, and being able to produce solutions that can help both of you grow. And even employing that to Sheila, employing that one also to an individual. As a leader, when you're leading your own life, Christians will say that God comes first, he leads. Yes. But then again, you also have a role to play. As you're leading your life, you need to have a plan. You need to be empathetic around those people around you. A good example is a young person who is going to school. As a young person, you need to be empathetic and place yourself in the shoes of your own parents. What sort of struggles and hard work and hardships are they going through to ensure that they give you school fees? So that means that you're not going to misuse it, partying and all that sort of misuse of finances. You're going to ensure that you maximize and utilize those finances as you should. Otherwise, somebody who is just sympathetic, they'll be like, hey, maisha ni ngumu, wazazi wanaumia. But at the end of the day, party kwa club, and they do nothing about it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow, you are educating us more and more. Hey, you guys, do you hear what he has just said? Anyway, so what strategies do you employ to know that you have communicated effectively with your team? So what strategies do you use? Like, ndio ujue enyewe, okay, this is how I have led them, it's nice. During times of crisis, una feeling ya Mary?
Well, to know how if you're effective in your leadership, unaangalia the response of your team. If it's positive, if let's say you provided a solution, did they go by it? Did it help, or did it not help? Or and also, if they come back to you, if kama msee alikuwa nangori and then amekuja amekuongelesha, and then you provided a solution, did they come back again after the crisis, or they never want to tell you anything? So that's how you know if uli handle poor. If you handled it well, you'll see either the change in them, you'll see them coming back, either to say thank you, or even to tell you something else that is disturbing them, or something that is not okay with them. And also the results, the crisis that you're in, if it was solved, that means that you handled it well. But if imekuwa worse, juu inaweza kosa kuwa solved but ime easen. Yeah, so that's how you evaluate how your strategies in managing crisis. Yes.
Okay, so I have already known that I have already seen or may respond well to how I have handled this situation. But then you have said, Joseph, let me take this question to Joseph. You have said you are in the marketing team, right? So in that time during a crisis, okay, so Mary has told us that she sees how people respond and how she has evaluated that she has handled that situation properly. But for example, so what are the strategies? So what am I supposed to do to just navigate a crisis in terms of leadership and all that stuff? How will I navigate?
Thank you, Sheila. Number one, it's have a plan. And when I talk about having a plan, you need to, sometimes people ask you, what's your dream? Where do you want to be in 5 years? When it comes to corporate field, it's what we call the strategic plan. What's the strategy do they have in place to ensure that moving forward? And when you listen to it, it's futuristic, that it's looking forward to a future. That's why you talk about 5-year strategic plan. That's why you talk about when I grow up, I want to be so and so. It's have a plan. Because then again, you cannot be able to prepare if you don't have a plan. Now having a plan, then having a well-detailed vision, having a well-detailed mission of your own life, it will help you when a crisis comes, because then it means that you have well-rooted establishment of where you've come from, and you've had some lessons, and you've planned for the crisis itself when it comes. And that is where now we onboard the aspect of risk management, that you're able to look into the future and look and see that at some point maybe I'm going to experience financial crisis. So how do I plan for it? And that is where now people in the financial field will tell you, go and come and save a little bit, 20 Kenya shillings, 10 Kenya shillings, so that when a crisis comes, then you are in a position where you're able to manage that particular crisis. Another aspect, another strategy that you need to employ, it's clear communication. Effective, clear communication. That as the leader, as even Mary has mentioned, you should be able to cultivate an environment where people are able to open up to you. As the leader, you need to be a listener. That is one of the greatest strengths that a leader should have. Be a listener. Effective communication in your team. Effective communication to your team, and the vice versa, that they're able again to communicate to you. And even if you're not leading a team, even in a family or in a society, why is it that you want to emulate a particular young person? It's maybe because of the way they communicate, how open they are, how professional they are. Be somebody who can be able to attract people to communicate to you. That helps you to be able, as I mentioned, to onboard new ideas and strategies and be able to maximize on the strength of your team. Be able to maximize on the strength of your own teammates, you know, that I know if I'm not good in mathematics, I can go to so and so, they help me. If I'm not good in financial planning, I can go to so and they'll be able to help me. If I'm not able to express myself as a leader, I can go to so and by the way, even maybe delegate and say, from today you are the secretary as a leader, and you know they're going to do very good minutes because you've been able to identify through communication and interaction with your team, you've been able to identify the particular strength of your team. that can help you to navigate around crisis.
We are now coming to the end of our session, and I would like to hear the closing remarks. So I would like you to tell that young person listening to this session, I would like you to tell them what would they do if they are giving up on leadership. What should they do? Should they just give up? Just give them your advice. Say a few words to encourage them.
First of all, I would say like giving up should be the last option. Actually, it shouldn't be an option. Why are you giving up? Because there are many solutions to why you're feeling like maybe the leadership is overwhelming. You can get to talk to someone. You can also take a break and maybe nurse yourself. That is what we call it. Maybe you take yourself out, read a book, watch a movie, listen to music, get some decent sleep. Yeah, like usi give up. Because in leadership, when you give up, the people when you una lead, who will they look up to? What will happen to them? There are people who are counting on you for your how will you will handle the situation. They are looking up to you. So if you give up these people, that means there is a group of people that utaachwa bila leader, bila person to show them this is the way, bila person to encourage them, to give them strength to go on. So I would advise like never give up, because the pain of giving up inakujanga afterwards. You start now feeling the impact. Why did I even give up? Yeah, so you just persevere and hold on to it. Yes.
Oh, wow. And what would you tell, Joseph, a young person who is being governed by a leader who they feel, I don't like this leader? So what would you tell that young person who is in the corporate field? They are just entering. What would you tell them?
I'll tell them that, number one, everybody is a leader. At your own level, you have to make decisions. So you're a leader at some point, at whatever level you feel, even if you're a starter in terms of the corporate field, even if you've just finished your university education, you are a leader because there are some expectations that people want to observe, and they expect results from you. But then again, this aspect of disliking and liking your leader, I believe that my belief is that there is no way you can dislike your leader, but maybe you can dislike your boss. Remember I mentioned about the difference.
Wow.
Because sometimes people who have been placed in positions of leadership, they forget their role, which is to work with the entire flock, and they become bosses. And that sometimes I know can be irritating to some people. But then again, one of the challenges that young people have is that they are not able to express themselves. They are not able to state clearly what their mind and their view is to particular situations. And therefore, it's easier even to manipulate them. So I think it's to grow the courage to say, okay, with my minimal experience, I feel that this is not right. And more so this particular period where we know that even getting into the industry, it calls for a lot of shortcuts sometimes. So if you got into it through a shortcut, then it becomes difficult for you again to face the same person and tell them, look, this is not right. But if genuinely we're able to embrace as young people that courage to be honest, not only in terms of our view, but how we navigate these particular fields, then it's easier for you to say and state that this is my view. As much as there is the views of other people and you're considering them, be able to forward and table your view and say, this is what I feel, this is the way forward, how we can be able to grow, and I'm hoping you can be able to absorb and consider my suggestion other than just going quiet. Again, now when you go quiet, you grow a lot of bitterness in your heart. I don't like this industry, I don't like this company, I don't like working with this person. But then again, because of the aspect we talked of clear communication, being able to open up and having a system. I can see that dislike, again, even the organization itself at some point plays a role. All the way from the initial establishment, we talked about the plan. Then again, that plan, the plans, the policies of the company, the channels of communication, they should be able to create a platform where people are able to open up. Then again, I can also say that the corporate and the employees have a role to play in ensuring that everybody feel they're part of the conversation. And therefore, at some point, somebody will not say that you're not listening to me. No, they'll say, okay, I forwarded my suggestion, but based on the plans and the vision, the mission of where we want to go to, this is not the right time for us to employ it. Then a time will come when it will be the right platform for your suggestion or your views to be employed. But don't just take a backbench and say, I just don't like this profession. And maybe that's the route or the way that is going to really grow your profession and grow your career. Yeah.
So guys, we have come to the end of our session. We have come to the end of our YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have learned one or two from our guests today. They were interesting. I've learned a lot. And if you'd like to reach them out, for a word of advice, for a one-on-one, for a sit down with them, just text us right down below and comment and just say, I would like to reach them out, and we'll comment you and we'll just give you a link to how you'll communicate to them. So you guys, you have been amazing, and thank you to watching to fully watch the video fully. Thank you so much. And there is no relation for them being Joseph and Mary. There's absolutely no relation, you guys. So yeah, that was a very huge coincidence. So msiseme hapo kwa comments there. No. Thank you guys for coming. It was very nice hosting you guys. Did you enjoy the
A lot.
video?
A lot. We enjoyed a lot. It was really fun. Yeah.
So you guys, see you next in our next episodes, and more to come. If you'd like to see any leaders, this is the platform, so don't go anywhere. Please subscribe, comment, and share this video to as many people as possible. We'll be bringing you guests like these ones. I hope you enjoyed them, and more to come. So you guys, sub and comment and share. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.